Okay, very good. Okay, so good morning to everyone. And if you saw, I sent out, as of last night, I sent out the name of the shiur. Anyone see it?
Yeah.
Preparing for Pesach in harmony. Double meaning to it. A double meaning to it. Yeah. No one appreciates my artistic literary talents.
Does it work in Mishkapayim?
No, whatever leniencies we have here, that's it. Only in harmony.
Well, in harmony, we know we're supposed to prepare b'simcha.
Exactly. So, anyways, that's the name of the shiur, and has a double meaning. Morning has a double meaning, and physically with harmony, but really, no, it's not at all. Not at all. But not at all. It's fine. But it really is a halachic reality. If a person wants to follow the halacha, the dinim, preparing in harmony is not just a cute little sticky thing that Danny Meyer sent out. It really could be. Preparing in Pesach in harmony does not have to be an oxymoron. It does not. I'm going to start off with halacha, which will never happen. And then we'll get into the practical halachas. Like this halacha will never happen. Because I have no doubt every one of you would shoot the guy on the spot. But let me just tell you the halacha as in the Shulchan Aruch, just to give you a feel for Hilchot Pesach. Okay, that it's a halachic reality and it's not over demanding. It's halacha and it's doable, and a person does not need to get crazy from it at all. Okay, and a person decides they're going to do spring cleaning and clean on top of closets and spend hundreds. That's their choice. It has nothing to do with preparing for Pesach. Preparing for Pesach is a halachic phenomenon, and there are so many legitimate. It's not even leniencies. The din. I'm going to give you a very extreme halacha, which rarely applies, although there are some ramifications. Not going to spend a lot of time because it's just to give the idea. So you go ahead and let's say you have a Gentile cleaner that comes to you all year long, once a week that comes in. And the Gentile cleaner, she comes in on Pesach, straight from Abu Ghosh. And Abu Ghosh, you have some beautiful restaurants in Abu Ghosh. That's a 20 minute away from here, an Arab village. And she comes in with fresh pita. And that's going to be her lunch because she doesn't want to have matzah and cream cheese or pizza, matzah, whatever else you're serving. It doesn't speak to her, so she comes prepared. So she comes with her pita. And obviously, the first thing any Jewish mother is going to do is call Hatzalah because she's having palpitations, right? Obviously. So, besides the sakanat nefashot, life and death issue, just focusing on the yes. So just focus on the pure halachic issue, okay? So she walks in, and you say, "What's going on?" And she says, "No, this is my pita. I'm just going to go have it for lunch." And assuming, you're calm, you just want to halachically what to do. What is the halacha?
She did outside.
Send her outside?
Yeah.
Send her outside. You don't need to shoot her on the spot. We all agree with that.
Yeah.
The fact that there's chametz in there, no, that's fine. Just send her outside. That sounds like good advice. Any other advice? Can you let her stay inside?
Oh, it's Pesach.
Yeah, and let's say you're in the States and there's snow and there's rain and there's nowhere she can't be outside. There's nowhere to put it.
Go on the porch?
No porch. You're on the fourth floor. There's no porch.
It's her chametz.
It's her chametz, and therefore what? It's not mine. It's hers. And then can I let her leave it with her stuff in the house, and then at 10:30 she can eat it, and then she'll clean it up.
Yeah, that seems good. So.
Sounds all right.
Yeah,
She'll eat it. She'll clean it up. It's not mine. So is it by Rabbi Matzek? I'm not owning it, so it's not mine. So I'm going to read the Shulchan Aruch, and anyone want to guess what the Shulchan Aruch is going to say? Exactly what you said. It's in my property without me owning. And guess what? You have a lot of chametz in your property that you don't own on Pesach. Anyone who does the sale has plenty of chametz in the property, all over the place, all the cabinets. Chametz.
But you
Okay.
sold it. It's not yours.
So it's not mine. So this isn't mine either.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So listen to the halacha. Tough. Okay, tough man. This is in Orach Chaim. The halachas of Pesach is found in volume Hey, the 5th volume of the Mishnah Berurah. Tough man. He says, "Ein a Yehudi she nichnas lebeit Yisrael v'chametzo biyado." He walks in. Now a case. It's in her hand or his hand. Eino zakuk lahotzio. You don't need to kick him or her out. It's not yours. But you see it's chametz. Balira. No, it's not yours. Balira doesn't mean see. Okay, it doesn't mean see. It means own. You don't own it. Now, what about eating in your house? Right to be sitting there. You can't eat it in the house. It's one thing that you brought in. Don't push your luck. Oh no, you can eat it, and just be careful to clean it up. So you can eat it on my table, and maybe it'll be advisable if we're nervous about cleaning it up. Maybe a plastic throwaway. Eat it and throw it out. And take it out when you leave and you go back to Abu Ghosh.
Don't warm it up.
Don't warm it. Don't use my utensils, hot pami, plastic, and all that. Okay, are we good with that? So he's going to continue. You can't eat with him at the same time. Even if, let's say, I'm having meat and dairy. So long when you have meat and dairy, you have to put some kind of a sign. You don't come to mix with each other, right? I'll take your meat, you'll take my dairy. So you have what's called the hefsek mapa, where we have I have my place, but you have yours, and we remember not to take from each other. That's not going to help over here. They were more mach. So you can't be together on the table at the same time, but you could be that she eats at 11, cleans off, and then you eat at 12, and it's all good. And this, you'll say, yeah, maybe that's the Shulchan Aruch 500 years ago. We get firmer as time goes on, right? So more Mishabura must for sure be stringent, right? So what does he say? Why is it fine? Because it's not yours. You could see others. And maybe you're going to come and eat it. Okay. You're not afraid. Why? Because he's holding the chametz. He's holding the chametz. You're going to grab it and steal it. We don't ever feel like that.
But it's still on her hands and clothes.
Well, she's put it all away with her stuff. And just like we're not afraid you're going to go into her purse and this and that, so it's by her stuff. Okay. And then he says,
She washes her hands and you'll Pesach.
so then you have to be careful with that. You're right. Maybe you should go to the bathroom, wash your hands in the bathroom. No, you're right. So go to the bathroom and just be careful with the crumbs. You have to be pragmatic for sure. Don't eat together at the shulchan, because maybe a little tiny drop will get, fly into your food. So don't eat at the same time. I feel have sigmapa. Why? But if you're having meat and dairy, that helps to have a placemat and another placemat. No, chametz is different because even a tiny drop of chametz, it's not batel. When you have basa b'chalav, if let's say the real fears I'm going to take from you, you're going to take from me, so we have a sign to make a difference. The fact that a tiny drop of gravy might somehow fly in, okay, so it's batel b'shishim, it's 1 in 60. But bread is not that way. Chametz isn't that way. And therefore, we have the chumrah, the stringency that what? That you have to go ahead and not even be at the table at the same time because something could go ahead and that's it. So he says, the kol says this is a Mishnah Berurah. When eating at the same time. He's eating and then you're going to eat later. Just make sure you can have him eat on your table. Just be careful of that one, of course. They cleans out. But
that eats 3 meals a day and wants to warm up her food.
yeah, so then you're gonna have a problem. Warming up and your kalim is gonna be an issue. That's gonna be an issue. That's gonna have to be there. The worker who's there to hold
That she's there day and night.
Okay, you're gonna have to figure out how you're gonna go ahead having her own separate warmer. You have to figure it out. That's not a one-time thing. That's already for the week. That has to be worked out. How you're gonna manage, using kalim and heating and chametz. That can be a little tricky. Okay, so that's the halacha. That's halacha over here, and then what? Yeah, just use disposables, hot pummy, and that's it. So if it's chametz, it's probably best for her to just take everything out when she leaves, so you don't have any chametz, because now maybe you have a kinyan on the stuff that was left. Maybe you can argue that way. And then he just argues, he just points down the commentaries. What if you're on a plane and you're eating on a plane in Pesach? Yeah. And then the person right next to you is eating chametz. Okay, you're eating at the same time. So then you're right next to each other. Okay, because there it's not so far-fetched that maybe, it could go into your plate of food. So that would be the practical application from this halacha. I don't know how many people are going to let it go into the house, but that's halacha. And I think the initial reaction is most people, no, there's no way. It's also. It's halacha. There's a halachic phenomena of owning. You're not owning. And he's holding it. You're not going to grab it from him. When you buy it from him, or you sell him your chametz for the week, so then you have to lock it up in a cabinet because the chametz is just sitting there for the week. Oh, if you don't lock it up, there's a fee. You're going to come, you're going to take it and stuff like that. But here he has it for a few hours in the house. She has it a few hours in the house. You don't have such a fee. Just don't need to take, but at the same time. So Pesach is a halachic phenomena, like everything else, And all the halachas that we have are very serious. Shabbos is a serious halacha, and you don't come into Shabbos crazy. Karat HaMishpacha, a couple gets married. That's also very serious. Very serious. You learn halachot, and that's what we do. We encounter all issues, and we take halacha, and that's our guide for life. And it's such a beautiful guide. And no one has to get crazy making Pesach, unless you want to do other things that have nothing to do with preparation for Pesach. Okay, we have to separate. And chaval, it's very, very sad when I see people come into Pesach like a rag, and then your whole Simchas Yantif is gone. There's a good chance it's going to affect the rest of the family too. And the preparation beforehand can also affect it because you're on nerves and you're being more machmir than you need to. So it's not just that you took it upon yourself. Everyone pays the price. Right? For Rockaway, 23 years ago, when it was, before we moved, there was a van on Reed's Lane. Anyone remembers Rockaway? So Reed's Lane, and it said on the back, there was a bumper sticker, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. And I pulled up the side of the van to see who was there. There was a big mama in that van. And I'm sure that sticker is true. If that mom ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So if you're in the house and you're all tense and the kids go ahead, it's a few days, you didn't finish kashering, be in the process, and the kids eating outside, you still have everything outside but not inside or whatever you worked out. And the kid goes ahead and like walks in, but there's a little bit of crumb, and okay, you have to deal with the halach. You don't want him to wipe it up on your face. Like, hey, it's true, but the tenseness is no place for it. It's no place for it. And very often it's just so far and above any halacha, and it's stringencies that are leading to leniencies, and problems and shalom bias, tension for the kids. And this day and age, for the kids not to approach Pesach happily and with tension. 10, 15, 20 years, when it's their choice if they want to make Pesach or not, who knows? So there's no reason. Samach b'chagech applies to Pesach. We should prepare for Pesach b'simcha. And I just brought an extreme example to show. Yes, we're going to learn that there are plenty of serious halachas for sure, but it doesn't have to be a crazy thing at all. Okay, so now, then there's so many different topics that we could speak about, but if I'm not mistaken, tell me if I'm wrong, the number one topic would be kashering for Pesach, yes? Okay, I would imagine that's the most, pertinent question, right? Yeah. So let's get the basics of it. So the first thing you have to know is that there's 3 words to start it all off. 3 words, kibol-o, kach, polto. Very good. Kibol-o, bolea, swallow. The way it swallows, the kli swallows, absorbs the food. This is whether it's treif or whether it's talking about chametz. Kach, polto. That's how you get it out. If the kli absorbed by having hot noodles in it in water, so it was through the bishul process, that's how the chametz got absorbed in. So then you need to have that kli put into hot water. Okay, that's called hagalah. But the basic rule of the big 3 is kibolo, kach, polto. However it absorbs, that's how you remove it. Once you have that, then that explains all Herchot Hachana LePesach.
Yeah, but you can't tell the whole thing.
Tovel is a separate topic of a new kli that you get.
About from make a comment.
Now we need to get into the rules of how different objects became chametzik and how the bol-o happened and how the polto works. But before we do that, does this work with every kli? So I have a surprising one for you. Let's assume you never want any more, but let's assume this is real wood. Yeah, you don't know it's trustworthy. Let's assume this is real wood. and I have a wooden kli that I had hot chametz in last week. Can I say kibolo kachpolto? I cooked in it. I did whatever I did in it. So now I can kasher the wood that way too. What do you say? Why not? Wood I can't kasher.
You can
So-
kasher.
It's absorbed.
So, but the whole idea of kashering is that kibolo, how it absorbs, you can get it out. So now we need to explore. You all seem to have this premise that there's some kalim that absorb that you cannot get out, right? And you're correct. Which kalim they are is tricky. So you need to analyze, go through two chapters of the Shulchan Aruch. One is in Hilchot Kashrut in Yoredeya, in Siman Kuf Chaf Aleph. And then you have to go to Hilchos Pesach in Taf Nun Aleph, when those are the two places in Shulchan Aruch talking about the different kinds of kalim. And in Yoredeya, he says, a kli out of metal. What's metal in Hebrew? Matefet, which would include sef, which would include barzel, all kinds of metal. If it's assuming it's a pure metal, then you have kibolo kachpalto. However, the chametz, or in your day, it's talking about treif, however that got in, that's how it gets out. Okay. And he gives three examples of kalim. Matechet, metals. Oh, we can talk about that in a moment, class. We'll talk about them. What's the second one? Class, we're going to see in a moment. So kli cheres is an example of something which absorbs and you cannot get it out. And you have to just, if it's treif, then you have to just chuck it. Or if it's chametz, you put it away for Pesach. And there's two more that you can. So metal. So China is cheres, pottery, ceramic. So we have one that you can kasher. The other one is wood.
Glass.
Yup. 8. And the third one, I'm not going to tell you because you know it.
Glass.
So the sinks are metal, so that's under the category of metal, right?
What is glass
Stone
considered?
wood?
Glass is a chuchit.
What about the stone plastic?
So plastic is new. We have to discuss that. That's not the Shulchan Aruch. That's over the last century or so. The other one is, anyone ever put hot water on their countertops? Yes.
Yes.
What's that made out of? Even, stone. So the three in the Shulchan Aruch are even, stone. Now you have a lot of mixtures, composites, but pure stone we're assuming, metal, and wood. Those can. Now, people reacted, well, no way, because very often, practically, the wood's going to have crevices and nooks and crannies. You're going to end up having chametz in there that just practically cannot really clean it out. But in theory, you could kasher wood. As opposed to ceramic, no. The Masorah says that ceramic and all the different kinds of china and stuff like that, the food is absorbed kibolo and it cannot be what? Removed. Glass used for hot or for cold?
I don't do it, but I read.
Glass used for hot or for cold?
It's what?
Glass that was used, a hot mug, glass mug that you would have chicken soup with noodles and matzo balls, or cold?
Like what you
So good.
No Pyrex and no.
Very good.
anything
So there's
that-
a lot to learn. So this part one is just all the introductory stuff, okay? And so what we have is in Yoredeya, the Shulchan Aruch tells us, look to Hilchot Hagalat Kelim for Pesach for more details. And there he talks about glass. And you have a very extreme positions, 3 positions when it comes to glass. The Shulchan Aruch writes that glass does not absorb even in heat.
Even what?
So what do you want
Why?
to do?
Nothing. According to the Shulchan Aruch, you go ahead and Erev Pesach, you have your hot noodle soup in your glass mug. Clean it, glass mug, clean it out, and make a l'chaim on your Shlivovitz liquor, kosher Pesach liquor on Pesach. Just clean it. That's the Shulchan Aruch. Now, before anyone throws any tomatoes at me, okay, the Ramah comes along And the Ramah is the Ashkenazic posek that we follow for the last 500 years. The Ramah comes along and says the opposite extreme. Not only does it absorb, it absorbs like which element, the most severe element, which is cheres, pottery, that you can't kasher for Pesach.
But if you only used it for wine.
Oh yeah, we're talking about hot now. We're talking about hot. We're gonna get to cold. Yeah, we're gonna get to the cold, which is what many of us are used to when it was only cold glasses, 3 days. We're gonna go through that. There's a lot to do. Okay, but Baruch Hashem, we'll have enough time to cover the kashering of the kitchen. So silver, if it's hot, then it was metal, then you could kasher it through kibolo kapolta. Now, we didn't go through the details. Kibolo could mean I use it on hot water, with hot bubbling water, except there's kasher in hot water. Or kibolo means it was hot oven, where I had the tray with the chametz right on the tray, and that's what's known as more of a severe level. I need libel, a more of intense fire level, and hot water is not going to get it out. You're going to need the blowtorch, which is very hard, or 1,000-degree Fahrenheit, which would be what? The self-cleaning oven. So you could put things in that for the higher degree of kashering, assuming that the kli will withstand it. You have to really check what could withstand it. So any kli you put into self-cleaning oven will be kosher Pesach, but it might be non-existent when you finish. So you have to weigh it all out.
To do anything with a brand new oven?
No,
Compare it in
just
any way?
enjoy and
No,
go ahead and
my daughter-
tell all your friends. Nothing
My
to do.
daughter
My
said-
oven is all clean already.
No, my daughter said you have to put it on for an hour or something on the highest. I don't know why.
Oh, I mean, Takashas for all year. If
In
may-
other words, it's never been used yet.
maybe their claim is that they have some grease on it or something. I'm
Is
not
it-
familiar with it.
Oh, you're not.
Yeah, so it maybe that all depends on the manufacturers and each generation and each year what's going on. If something like that actually happens. Yeah. That could be. I don't know. I know what certain camps say. Anyways, so right now we're getting all the basis, our foundation today. Okay. Yes.
For anything used with water, you're gonna do hagala. Does that have to be clean
Yes.
24 hours before? You can
Very
kasher
good.
it?
Excellent.
And
So
does the same thing apply for like the self-cleaning oven? Can that?
very good. Very good. So anytime. So just continuing. So we really have our foundation set. And then I assume, is anyone planning on kashering before next Sunday or not?
My brother does.
No. So everyone will talk during the week if you are. But today I want to get the foundation, and then next Sunday, really just go through practical application of all these. And the newest kid on the block is the inductions. I did some research on it. It's almost like a microwave, if I understand, where you put on the stove top, nothing happens. You put your hand on it, nothing will happen. And when you put the metal pan on it, it's not that, it tells the stovetop to heat up. The stovetop is not heating up. The pan is heating up. And of course, that's what I've understood is the technology. Then this will become hot. Don't put your hand there. Hey, Danny Murray said it doesn't heat up. I didn't say that. Don't put your hand on it. Come next week like, hey, why did you burn my hand? No, I didn't. This gets hot from the waves, right? Or the whatever's going, the magnets, and that will naturally make this hot, just like the microwave, where the food gets hot, and then that will make the plate hot and the microwave hot, and that's the inverse of what you're used to. So that has fantastic ramifications halachically, and we're gonna go through everything next Sunday. Anyone needs help before then, we'll be in touch, okay? I know a few people called me last week. Last week we had teachers absent, 2-3 teachers absent every day, which is part of life as a principal. It's all good. As long as I'm smiling and the kids are calm, it's all good. Just, it meant that I just couldn't answer Shiloh's last week, so I am sorry. Hopefully the staff will be feeling better. So if any Shilohs come up, I'll be able to be much quicker than I was last week. So this is our base, okay? Let's review our base. And next Sunday, we're just gonna go through every kli that we have in the kitchen and just say, the halacha is this, okay? Before I summarize, we have glass with the extreme opinions, I didn't mention the middle opinion by glass. There is a middle opinion glass not mentioned in the Shulchan Aruch and the Ramah, is that glass is like metal, that it does absorb, but you could kosher it. So you have 3 opinions by glass. You don't do anything. You can't do anything to it. It's totally chametz. You can't get it out. And then the middle opinion, it's like metal where you could kosher it. Okay. Then you have all the new elements that we didn't have years ago, the tempered glass. Those opinions who were stringent, are those opinions possibly lenient now with glass that you could cook in the oven with this special glass with the tempered prepared glass, okay? And then all new elements that didn't exist hundreds of years ago, rubber, plastic, and stuff like that.
Microwave oven stuff.
And then the microwave oven, which is new, the induction oven, which is new. So we have to apply all the principles. So plastic is new. And there you have an argument among the poskim what to do with plastic. Rav Moshe was machmir, but many held that no, that it's not. We don't assume we do. We have a masorah on porcelain, ceramic that absorbs and it doesn't come out. We don't have that assumption by rubber. Many poskim say you can kasher. So you do have a split about what to do on that one. We'll talk halacha l'maisa, how to apply it. So we covered the basic rules. Kiv bol o kach polto. However, kli absorbs, that's how it comes out. Then we saw the different kalim. How does it apply? Either you can have a kli which absorb, which Allah the Shulchan Aruch says that absorbed and you could get it out. That is wood, surprisingly, stone and metal. Those absorb and you could get them out. Then you have glass, which has all the extreme opinions on the nature of that. Then you have ceramic, which everyone agrees absorbs and you cannot get it out. And then you have your new kalim that came along over the years and new kinds of cooking, the induction, the microwave, which is something new, where it's not so much a question of the specific kli. It's not a new kli. The microwave is a new phenomenon, but wait, you have the food, that gets hot, and then that transfers heat to the plate underneath it, right? Well, what's the halacha? It's not a new material. It's just a new way of cooking, which we'll explore. So that's what you have. You have the basic rules that we've had for thousands of years. And the new things that we have are the new types of kalim and the new ways of cooking. Okay, and halacha is prepared for everything. Halacha is prepared for everything. The post can deal with it and apply it. Yes. Yes, that's part of it. And very good. So we're going to go through next week. We'll take. So many of them are metal, but then you have the trays. That's right. You have the rubber. What about the trays? Could be plastic. Okay.
What about the rubber on the refrigerator? That's already.
So that's good. So rubber on a refrigerator, since there's no beli'ah, very good that you mentioned that. By a fridge and by the closets, there is no beli'ah, there's no absorption, because the rule is absorption can only happen with heat. So with once you're talking about the closet, thank you for mentioning that. Once you're about a closet and a fridge, we are not talking about beli'ah, we're just talking about cleaning. Yeah. We're out of the category of beli'ah and kashering, and now we're just about cleaning. You have to just clean well. Some are careful, they clean well, and they put the they put the papers down, which is fine, nice. It's not a chiyuv, because if you clean well, you clean well. Oh no, I'm nervous, but in the rubber, there's still okay, fine. So put down the extra level of stringency if you want. But that's another world of just cleaning. There's no absorption. There's no bliyah. There's only nikayon. Good. So then also, if they're only used for cold, so there's no absorption. So then we have to look at the next week. So why is there a minute of 3 days, putting in for 3 days? Where did that come from? There's no absorption. Just clean it out and that's it. Okay, so Mitzvah Shem, we're going to look into that next week. So that's awesome. But then if you say that they're washed with chametz, wait, maybe glass absorbed it. So why does 3 days even help, right? Right. So that we're going to Mitzvah Hashem. So this is our Basis foundation. And Mitzvah Hashem next week, we're going to go through all the different elements of the kitchen. And that's it. In a calm and happy, harmonious way. Smiling all the way. That is so true. Yes.
How do we know with some of the new materials?
Yeah, you have to look.
They
Sometimes
are,
I have to call. Sometimes I'll call the company up.
Okay.
Ask send me what the composite is. What is it in your? I have to look.
Well, like the most important thing that I find is a difference is the sink, because I've always had stainless steel sinks and I knew what to do.
Correct.
now here we have these white sinks that I've never
not
seen
stainless
except
steel?
in Israel. No, I don't know what they are.
You have to put in the, you have to put in.
But I didn't have to with stainless. steel,
Correct. So this is true. I'm a little surprised if they did that because.
So you have
Answer.
to.
So yeah, we'll go over that next week. We'll go over that next week.
I know.
Good, we'll talk about that also. Talk about dentures next week, okay, also as well. And don't worry, don't need to, and about your teeth, you put boiling water into your mouth.
Clean
We're
up
good to
that.
go. So we'll go over that. We'll go, Mitzvah Shem, we're gonna list of all the Kalim next Sunday, okay? And I cannot stress enough, and the ways that are sweet. Sometimes we have hard times in life. God always throws curveballs at us. It's true. But Pesach is not meant to be some like time where you're coming in and agitated. It's just not. It's not. The person wants to follow halacha. I brought in that extreme case of the guy walking, just so it's a halacha topic, and that's it. And everything, this kashering, it's all kasherable. Things that are not, so we put aside, and it's not b'shamayim at all. It's all doable, and it should be mamash simchas yantif. So the preparing should be a simcha, and then the yantif itself should be a simcha. Okay, so next time we'll continue that on Tuesday. We'll do the parsha.
You want me to call my husband and see where he is?
Yeah. Okay. Take care. Be well.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Be well. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Bye bye.